Welcome back to the Dax and Randy Show, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. You're coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dax and Randy Show. I'm your host, Dax. I'm happy to have you guys with us for another episode. It's going to be a real good episode today. But before we jump into it, I got my co-host with me. What's up, man?
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Randi, and I am the co-host of the Dax and Randy Show.
That's what's up. What's up? You look beautiful today.
Thank
know
you. You look handsome as well.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm getting used to this real long hair being in my face and trying not to eat it.
You
know
like
what I'm
it?
saying? I do like it, but I'm not used to it. You know what I'm saying? With it being down in my face, it's just growing so much. But anyway, listen, for anybody who hasn't listened to our podcast before, even if you have, what are we all about? We're the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life, and we feel like we keep it real in a way that most people don't. We go through the good, the bad, we give advice, we create a community, we want to help people. You know what I'm saying? We want you to help us too. So make sure you follow us right away because we talk about everything on here from relationship to friendship, money, everything me and Randy do together. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you follow the Dax and Randy Show. All right.
Yes. And also, this podcast, along with all of our podcasts, are sponsored by Basden Accounting, BASDEN, Basden Accounting LLC, the number one accounting, payroll, advisory, tax company for all your needs.
I love how you say it. Me, I be all aggressive with it. You make it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's up, man? We got a nice hairstyle today.
Thank
nice
you.
And long.
Thank you.
We gotta run this back. Randy's got this exotic weave right now. Super exotic. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Thank you.
I love it with the little pink eyes and the I don't even know what the shade of red is on the lips, but you look amazing. You know what I'm saying?
You,
I appreciate the effort you put in to make yourself look so good. You know what I'm saying? Not every guy could say that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate you appreciating me.
Hey, you know that some guys, when they talk about their wife and how fine she is, they talking about how she used to be fine. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to talk like that. My wife's fine all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is work.
Yeah,
it is work. I don't even feel fine half the time, but I always feel better about myself when I put effort into my appearance.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I have put effort into, okay, we're going out. Like for the last, from like most of, I don't know. I don't want to say most of the relationship, but there was a time where we didn't have the busy life that we have. Mm-hmm. And we used to go out a lot more.
Right.
And then as we started to have more children, I think that I put the effort in when we're going out only. But the everyday stuff.
But it's changing lately.
It's changing lately because I'm like, you know what? I actually feel better about myself and am more productive when I put the effort in. So, but also I like that you appreciate it as well. And it makes me want to do it more because I want to be your fine wife. I don't want you to look at me and be like, she used to be this, she used to be that. Yeah. You know, I mean, I used to be a lot of things, but
nah, stop that. but look, I'm glad it make you feel better. But you know what I mean, ladies, man, you know what I mean. Like what it does for me is it shows me that you know what I mean, that you're proud to be with me and you try to look good for me. You know what I'm saying, and that does a lot for a man. You know, when your wife, no matter how many kids, how long you've been together, like. If she does that pride where it's like, I'm your wife, I want to look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not every guy could say that. Not everybody's wife is out there still trying to look fine for the man she got 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You settle into everyday life and we do that. You know what I mean? We're kind of just getting back right. But what does it feel like every day when you look across at your spouse? Like sometimes you might have to think about that. What does it feel like? You wake up, you see your woman get ready for work or get ready for the day. What do you got in front of your face? You know what I'm saying? Do you got somebody that's took the time to put a little makeup on, you know what I mean? Put a nice outfit on, smell good, you know what I mean? Show a little skin or something. Or do you got somebody that's just chucked on some sweats, ain't even brushed their hair, put on the Crocs and is going to handle business? It's fine to do that. But like, what does that do for a man to see the first option versus the second? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I appreciate you doing that for me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
How's your weekend? What's up?
It's been a week full of ups and downs.
Facts.
A week full of ups and downs, but yeah, that's all I can say.
What's the ups, man? What's the ups? A lot of ups, right? A lot of ups.
Yeah.
A lot of ups, some downs.
Yeah, well, I went to the Usher concert.
Yeah, talk about that.
So that was nice.
Yeah, I was told that my wife might go viral that night. If any of y'all see any clips out there, you know, you ain't got to send them my way enough, and I kind of know what happens.
I was just messing with you. No, it was a good time though. I went with my sisters and my nieces and my daughter, and we had a good time. Really, like I knew most of Usher's songs. There's some of the newer ones, like it was like 2 or 3 hours.
Did it take you to moments, different moments
in
life?
It did. Yeah,
that's what music do. You know what I'm saying? And he was a good performer and everything.
It was great. Yeah, that's like he's very talented. He definitely can dance, sing. Like he's an entertainer, and his whole set was just. It was nice.
What was it like going with the family? You know what I mean? Talk about it. You got the little VIP treatment. You got to skip lines and everything. You was looking nice, wearing a whole different style of clothes. Like,
oh yeah, my niece picked out my outfit for me. It was different because it was like a modest outfit, honestly. Because usually, like me, I want to show a little bit of skin, like a little, just up top. I like to show a little something. But this one was I had on baggy pants.
Yeah.
A crop toppy shirt that was kind of loose fitting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a different look for me. That's all I can say. But I was feeling it though.
Yeah.
I was feeling it. I was like, it gave me like a youthful, like a different type of sexy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus my hair was cute. So yeah.
Yeah, you was looking good.
Thank you.
I'm glad you was feeling good. I saw you like warming up to the night as you started getting ready and everything. By the time you left, you was excited.
I was excited.
I was happy for you because, first off, I know you like Usher, you know what I'm saying? And you don't do the girls' night a whole lot like that.
Yeah.
Like just, on your own all the time. You don't do that. Not with the family and all that, you know what I'm saying? So I know that was a moment for you guys to do that together. I also felt good for you because you didn't have to think about taking care of the kids. And I know how much you do all the time to keep the family together, but you got to take a break from all that. We'll have to hire babysitters now, but that's all right. We miss grandma, but we lost a lot in a person, family, and even just day-to-day help. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have none of that. We had it real good. We knew we had it good, but it's like, geez, we had it real good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you had a good time. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you wore something that you usually wouldn't wear. And that you felt good. Yeah. You know
me too, because it really looked nice on me. Yeah.
But you needed somebody to give you that idea though.
Because you know what the interesting thing is? I see people put together these outfits on TikTok. And I always think, like, when I think of myself in baggy pants, I'm too short.
Like, yeah, describe the outfit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know how to. You describe the outfit.
You described the outfit. You know what I'm saying? You wore it. You did.
It was. I described it.
Did you?
Yes, a little croppy toppy shirt, but it wasn't small. It was loose
you
fitting.
You did say croppy toppy.
Yes, and the pants were loose fitting, like tight around the waist, but like kind of almost wide leg, but not quite wide, but not straight leg either. Not bell bottom. So I'll say wide leg pants.
Okay.
And they just touched the ground. So I had to put heels on because if I wore tennis shoes, they would have dragged on the ground.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, that's the outfit. It was that's the thing. It was very basic.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? You did something different. Went out. You know what I mean? With your daughter. She 20 now.
Yeah,
you know
that was
interesting. Your niece and your sisters and everything, But I'm glad you went on. I'm glad you had a good time. You know what I mean? Fellas, women, you got to do your own thing. You got to be in person. You don't got to take your spouse to everything. It's all right to have a guy's night, a woman's night. It's healthy. It's needed. You know what I mean? You usually don't even realize how much you need it until you get it after a while. You're like, oh, this is nice. You know
but I want to do it again because it's similar to us going to Jamaica.
I know.
Like I'm being intentional about. I would call it self-care, honestly.
Yeah. But you know what though? On the real, and I'm gonna just say it like this: the other thing that hopefully comes out of this, like you just said, is that you do it more often, because I know that those type of moments for you and your family are going to be more and more important after grandma. And I know that it was a whole lot of breaking time and like family members doing events, spending time with each other. Like a lot of times that happens when you lose somebody in your family that means so much, that's so impactful. It's hard to create moments and be around each other in damn same type of spaces, because you feel the void. You see what I'm saying? So like that family cookout, now all of a sudden you don't want to have it as much because you just feel the void. Like it's just different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I see like what has to happen, as hard as it is the people that's left have to spend time with each other, have to create new memories with each other, and honor the person that you don't have her physically anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's actually happening when you go with your sisters and your daughter, and like you're creating their moments like your mama did with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe Jamaica is like the spark of you guys doing some more things together here and there. You know what I'm saying? Because it
I
looked
think
like
it's
you
going to
was
be an
having a good
annual
time.
trip.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Almost like with the vision boards. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
creating these memories together as women. Like that's important. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you did that. I hope you keep doing that. You know what
Thank
I mean?
you.
You're the alpha now in your life. You know what I'm saying? For your own family. You got a daughter. You're example to people underneath you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to create them situations. And
Yeah.
you did that.
Thank you. I like it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You know,
And it
and
is
I'm
nice.
always here to take. I'm always here to take care of the kids. You
Yeah.
know?
But it is nice having a babysitter because you had soccer practice.
Yeah. Well, we got
And
a
it's,
lot going on, but we
yeah.
blessed with that.
And today we're trying a new one.
I know.
Yeah.
I have to meet her. Yeah. It's a her, right? Yeah. So Randy went to the Usher concert, but everybody make sure you get out, enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Take the time, get you some decent seats, go to a concert, go to a party, go out with your friends. You know what I mean? Your family, like take a little break sometimes for yourself. You know what I mean? And enjoy yourself is important. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's also been an up week this week because we had some really good, I would say, business interactions this week, which I'm proud of. Like, so my point with this is we met with a client this week. We met the new director. First and foremost, I love the business that we have now and how it's presented. So I want to break this down for y'all. Like, you might have a business out there and you might be doing a lot with it, but is it presented the right way? Do you have the right people working for you? Do you have the right structure when you meet with people, when you offer services? Like, are you maximizing how you could be received, even though you're really good? I know that we've changed how we can be received. Now we're in the right light. Like this meeting we had, first of all, we got an operations manager there. We have you there. We have me. The accountant can be there. We are presenting a better face for what our business is. It was great when me and you were always there. You see what I'm saying? But now we've like solidified a firm and not just two people who own a business. Yeah,
Right.
we are a firm. We're an accounting firm. You see that, you feel that when you meet with us. So first and foremost, the way the meeting was held, the way it was structured, having somebody there that's clearly taking all the takeaways and the notes and the things we need to do afterwards. Having you there to speak about specific things, whether it's taxes, whether it's accounting, me speak about specific things, like, and be organized. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, we didn't always have that. You know what I'm saying? We always had, if me and you were there, we knew it would be fine. But now everybody has a clear role, and I like that. So that's number one. Number two, when we was talking to this client and explaining what we do, I was proud of it. I was proud of it. Like, we do a lot. We offer a lot, and the little changes were made. I won't say little, big changes were made, which is like writing a contract the way that it should be written, right? If you think about it, we can talk about our advisory service the right way now because the contract that's underneath it, we are comfortable with it. What it's offering, the pricing in it, like it's just different. You think about it, when we was talking about monthly accounting with people, it wasn't even that enjoyable of a conversation to have. These conversations are more enjoyable for me. I know exactly what we're offering. Clearly, every phase. I see the value in every phase. I know what you bring. So it's like easy to share it. And I'm like, we do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, what I will say real quick, and I always keep it real with my woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm late sometimes. You told me a long time ago how much we were offering to people that we wasn't necessarily getting paid for. And I know you felt it more because you was more face of the business every day. You see what I'm saying? But what we actually were offering to our clients all this time was a lot more than just accounting. It was a lot. And people were getting things inconsistently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, if we were ever just doing accounting for people, it would have been fine, maybe, but we were doing a lot more. You know what I mean? From the beginning, for pretty much every client was getting a lot more.
A lot
More than that.
They were probably getting 85% of the stuff that we're offering in our contract, and not really
and not
paying for
right. But that's on us. We were learning, and it's okay to learn, but it feels good. You know, a point I'll make is that it's okay to learn, but you have to get to a point where you've learned it. Like, we're always learning, but there's a lesson we got to learn and fix. You know what I'm saying? And then you go learn the next lesson. Like, don't keep learning the same thing over again because you ain't learned it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we learned that we needed to make some big changes, but I think we've made the big change already that we need to make. And now we would like tune and get better and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I think we've learned from the past. I'm excited for where we're going, but we had a really good business meeting with this director. I'm excited to work with him more. I'm excited for the business we have, but we was able to offer and communicate with him. Everything's coming into play. The software, like, think about it, like everything coming to play. We invested in this software months ago. So now when we meet a new director for a business, what is the takeaways? Oh, it's not, I need you to send me 5 emails. I need to send you this file and email. Like, no, we add you to a portal. It's all right.
You can see all the history.
It's all right. Yeah. And we could say it like, and when you're good dealing with a firm at a certain price point, you should have certain expectations, right? And you don't want things to cheapen the value. So like, we've changed. Imagine if in that meeting, the takeaways was, hey, I'm going to send you an email with 20 things listed. I'll get back to you in a week. Like, if it was like that, it kind of cheapens it.
Yeah.
But now it's like, we're going to add you to our portal. You're going to be able to see everything that everybody's doing. We're going to upload the documents there. Like, it fits. But we had to put the infrastructure in place. So when you have a business, the infrastructure has to be right for the type of business that you want. It has to be right. You got to take them steps. And sometimes you may not know what steps to take. But one of the big steps that we took, which we would advise anybody to take, is figure out what your workflow is. You know what I'm saying? What is your workflow? Every business has got one. You know what I'm saying? What are the steps for you to make money? If the 5 steps, if it's 10 steps, how does somebody know about you, inquire with you, sign up, receive, and pay you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they do that?
We've gotten pretty good. I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah, nah.
But yeah.
It's not perfect, but that simple thing, a lot of people don't have right. And I want you guys, if you got a business or if you're thinking about starting a business, you need a workflow.
Yeah, and I would say that also that's why it's important to charge your worth, because you want to be able to invest in good software, good trainings for yourself. Like, you don't want to be doing things just to be doing it or just because you can, but it benefits the client. When I'm being paid what I'm worth, I work differently. Before, I'd be like, listen, I'm going through too much. I'm not being paid enough to be, giving you 100%. And I didn't realize that, though, until I actually started being paid our worth. That I work differently. Like, I know, I'm like, y'all pay me too much money for me to be playing around, giving y'all some BS.
Right.
Because my BS can look pretty good too. But yeah, I definitely give the 100. Give 100%.
That's what's up. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because it worked both ways. Like, to the client, it's a certain thing, like I'm paying a certain amount, I have a certain expectation. But if they're paying you a certain amount, how do you feel that you need to deliver? Like it ups your game. It makes you be more accountable to yourself, to your company, to your client. You know what I mean? Because you know, like, hey, I got to give high quality service like I've promised. You know what I mean? And if we always put ourselves in the client's shoes as well. So, and I think we do that really well, which is how would I feel as a client receiving this type of engagement from you?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things we already weren't feeling comfortable with, because we're like, we don't necessarily like what we're doing, what we're getting, but then also what the client's getting, the consistency. Like we wanted to change it. We did a good job changing that. But get you a workflow. And Randy talked about Basden accounting. Look, at the beginning of the report, reach out to him. Like if you want a workflow created for you, you need to talk to me. All right. And I want you to sit down and write this down to yourself, and then really think about how you make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are all the steps that it takes for you to make money? Like I said, how do people know about you? How do they even inquire with you? You know what I'm saying? How do they get the information that they need to make a decision to sign up with you, whatever you're doing? Second part of that, how do you evaluate it? A lot of people don't do that. They just focus on the first part, client. How do they know about me? How do they sign up? You need the other side, which is how do you vet them? How do you make sure that's somebody you want signing up with you? How do you, like, all business is not good business? You know what I'm saying? So while they're vetting you, you should be able to vet them. And there's certain ways you gotta engage and write your contract so you know, like, hey, I want this type of person to sign. I want to give this person a contract. You know what I mean? You have your target client. We know what our customer, we know what we want them to look like. Number one, they got to be serious about business. They got to be trying to do something. All of our clients work well because they like us. They trying to grow. They trying to do something. You see what I'm saying? That client that doesn't want to do much doesn't even fit our advisory service because they don't really need no advice. They just stagnant doing the same 20 clients or whatever every month. They don't really benefit from my advisory service. So we have like a client profile right now, which is like, come grow with us. You see what I'm saying? Which is dope. So everybody will come to us. You know what I mean? But how do you vet your clients? How do they vet you? How do you lock them in? How do you provide the services? Right? How do they receive the services you just provided? How do they pay you? It's a whole lot going on in them steps for everybody. And you may not know that you're doing 10 steps to get to the end, because that whole business at the end of the day, unless it's not for profit for the most part, like you want to make some money. How many steps does it take you to make your money?
Right.
Is it 10 when it should be 7? Is it 7 when it should be 5? You know what I'm saying? Is it 5, but it's the wrong 5? So even though you got a few steps, they take forever to finish.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like you need an expert to do that for you. And as that's happening, now you got your plan in place. How do you actually execute it? What's helping you with each step? Is it a system, application? You know what I'm saying? How you invoicing? How you advertising? How you providing the service? How you're communicating, giving them documents, receiving them? Like all them steps. How you getting paid? What's the payment terms? Like they all have support that's needed for every activity. What's the right one? Like this is why you need to come to us for advisory, because we create the plan and we can help you put in the components to execute it. We're not just accountants. That's why we dope for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
but
true.
every business, everybody, you need that. That's what a true business is. Having a sound workflow that you create, you implement the right controls around it to make sure that it works, and you're limiting risk to yourself, and you also monitor it and reevaluate it all the time. The workflow has to be reevaluated all the time. You know what I mean? You might have 5 steps, and then all of a sudden you get this new client, and you're like, hold up. I don't like what just happened. I'm missing a step. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I'm gonna give y'all a real example because I want to incorporate this into the workflow we have. So, and we keep it real. This is where we keep it real. So you just heard about all this good stuff. Now we can tell you that we ain't perfect. We ain't tell you the real. So we have a system now, an application where people, like we mentioned, could go into a portal. and get the whole experience with us. Get the information they need to sign up for taxes or accounting, and they can get their contract, and they get the statements, and they can get communications and tasks and chats and text messages and all this stuff in the portal, right? What happens when you got the person that, and my situation is, what happens when you got the person that can't really use the portal, or they're not a client that you may really put into the portal? You have a situation, maybe they're elderly. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's somebody who ain't computer savvy for real. Maybe there's somebody that's under a health condition and they need you to come in and work with their financial advisor to help them get the finances straight. Well, do we want the advisor having this access to the portal and having the communicators that way? Or do we need another path where it's simplified even more? And it's like, here's what you get, email, whatever. Like, and I had me thinking, because here it is, I'm working with somebody back in my home country in Bermuda, right? And they already have an accountant, and I'm sitting here like, well, how can I get information? And I don't want to give the existing accountant a portal with us. And you know what I'm saying? So like, well, how do you get the information from the accountant for this person? And I'm like, well, let's think about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I may not want to give them the exact same experience from the portal that our actual individual clients get. You know what I'm saying? I'm just been thinking like, wow, do I need to tweak some things in the portal for these scenarios? You see what I'm saying? What do I do? But I found myself thinking like, I need to revisit my workflow and make sure that I have something where I have a different situation than wanting to give you the full bells and whistles. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my whole point. Like, we have a lot of bells and whistles, but there's some scenarios that come up where maybe you don't want to do the bells and whistles. You know what I'm saying? What if, for example, you're working with somebody elderly, they don't have access to their email, right? So the email shared with, let's say, family members. Let's just keep it real. The email for the business is now shared with family members. So you need an email for our portal.
Right.
But do we want all the family members to be able to see all the financial stuff about them? You get it? Like,
Yeah.
it gets a little, what do you do? You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's not an often situation, but
It's a
I said that's a
one-off,
way
yeah.
that I might be able to make my process a little better, to be prepared for every potential event. But you continue to learn. That's my point. And your processes continue to get better. You know what I'm saying? Another example I would say, and I'll just keep it real about workflow, and this is always challenging, but what do you do when the work isn't really real work yet? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, and I hope y'all could relate to this, but y'all got these businesses, right? And they ain't signed a contract yet, or they haven't come on board yet. What do you really do with them? You guys are having conversations. We always got stuck with this. You're having conversations. Conversations go real well. You know what I'm saying? But you're not ready to sign a contract yet. You're waiting on them to send you some info. What do you do with them from a workflow standpoint? You know what I'm saying? Do you put them on your workflow? Are they not real business yet? You see what I'm saying? But like, how do you manage the potentials? You know what I'm saying? I still want to think about that a little bit. What do we want to really consider a client? You know what I'm saying? Especially for like advisory and stuff like that. Like, what do we do with the potentials? You know what I'm saying? When do we decide that they ain't potentials no more? Stuff like that, But
That's true, because we got somebody who been sitting on that.
right, you see what I'm saying?
Sitting on the board.
Yeah.
And it's not moving.
And I'll tell you, even outside of just workflow, but that'd be where a lot of your time as a business owner could get lost too, is working with potentials and not knowing when to say this ain't really potential.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot to learn, but I love our workflow, but you need a workflow. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna ask Randy, because I feel like Randy, even though she probably gives me credit for the workflow, I think one thing about having a partner is sometimes one of them could identify the problem before the solution even starts happening. And I feel like you always knew the problem, which is we didn't really have the right workflow. You always saw it. You was always asking for it. You know what I'm saying? And it took a while But we finally got on the same page, you know.
And speaking of workflows, how things have changed, I received a call last week from a former client of ours who didn't, when we changed to advisory and changed how we do things, she didn't come with us.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not, like, I never gave her the presentation or any of that stuff. She just knew, like, financially she wasn't going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But she called and she was like, can I contract? No, she was like, I have this project that I'm working on and I want to outsource some stuff to you. And I said, well, see, the old me would have been like, all right, fine, you know, but I was like, well, we're going to have to sit and talk about what it is because I don't know. Well, can you do this, 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 this? I said, yeah, I know how to do that stuff. Okay, well, if you know how to do this, then we'll pay you this, this, and this, and it should be fine. I'm like, well, hold on, no. Like, I don't work like that anymore. I don't do the hourly.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
I don't even do that anymore. So it was just kind of interesting because she has no clue that this is completely different now. Like, you can't just call me and be like, can you do this real quick or for the next like.
But how did that feel though? Because I do remember the times where like you was never like a hustle account. I ain't gonna say that, but like we did do hourly billing, so like you did it individually. So what did it feel like to not even know like, all right, well, I don't even do this anymore like that. Like
awkward.
Right.
Awkward. And she came from a place of like, I'm gonna give this to you. Like almost like I'm giving you an opportunity.
Right.
And I don't, I mean, it's cool, but I'm thinking like I actually have a team now. Like, I appreciate you thinking of me because I don't think she meant to be like demeaning or anything like that. But it was definitely like, I work for you. Like Miranda works for you. Like just the way it was like, I'm gonna give you this, I'll pay you this, 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 and yeah, you know how to do it. So yeah. And I'm just like, yeah. We're gonna have to sit and talk about it. I said we need to have a meeting.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. And I don't think that the thing is though, I don't think that it hit. Because I'm like, I really like her.
Right.
So I'm trying to communicate nice, but I don't think I was effective. Because she was like, you know what? I've been wanting to have a meeting with the team too. And I'm thinking, I'm not even part of your team yet. Like, you know, she was like, yeah, I need to get everybody together. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't tell you about that conversation yet. So
you didn't.
I was just sharing like, yeah, this is
so you're not going to do it then?
I mean, it depends. Like, she has to get on board with the new thing. And I don't know if she's going to fit the model.
Gotcha.
Like, that's
but
my
she
whole
gotta
point.
come. But you got a model that she has to fit though. So that's it. Yeah.
But you know what it is though?
What's up?
My time is precious. And you can pay me. It doesn't really matter how much you pay me. If it's an inconvenience, like if I can't pick my kids up from school every day, if I can't take my son to speech therapy, if I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like if there's certain things, if I can't cook dinner, like there's certain things I'm just not going to do it. But I know with the model that I have now, everybody has a defined role.
Yeah.
So I know how much time I need in my day. I'm getting better at it. I'm not perfect, but I feel like I'm fine tuning things. And if I got to be out here, you know, hustling, and I'm not doing that. I'm okay.
That's what's up.
I think we're doing just fine. You're an amazing provider, Mr. Basden.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate
that. Hey, but you know what though? Like, I admire you though, because it just shows where your value is at in life, period. You know what I'm saying? And you are not sacrificing and saying you don't want business, but at the same time, you have a real healthy view on like what's important to you. So your family's important to you. Your husband's important to you. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You are important to you. The kind of life you want to live. You want to be rich in many ways, not just business and money. Not just that. So that is also driving your desire to probably to work smarter and to have a plan for everything, because as much as you want it, you don't want it without other things. You see what I'm saying? So like you don't want it if it's gonna impact those things you was just talking about. Your son means everything to you. His development, his development, you know what I'm saying? Being available to him, having energy, working out, like all this stuff is important to you. So that's what's up. And if you don't have these other things in your life that you value so much, there's one thing that can come along and just suck all your resources as a person. You know what I'm saying? And that could be work. You know what I mean? That could be the hustle that you're doing. But you're like robbing yourself of these other things that make you rich as a person. You know what I'm saying? But you need to
You
be
do.
okay. Cause the job, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's gonna you're a resource. I think a lot, and I forget this too, but like, we're all for the most part, if you work in a job, like you're a resource. If you look at what a resource means, you know what I'm saying? Like that's to assist. Like you are something to provide for like a larger cause. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So gotta be careful on how much you give as a resource to something bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're
Mm-hmm.
big individually. So be careful with that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because what happens when you lose a resource or it's not working as much? You got another one.
Yeah.
Because it was a resource. It's not the main joint. You see what I'm saying? It's just a resource to make the main joint work. But
Mm-hmm.
you want to be the main joint. We want to be the main joint. So we want to have resources.
Yeah. I
That
need
well,
my
our
team.
mindset is
Yeah.
different.
I'm not, if I can't include
Well,
my
our
team.
mindset is
Mm,
different. Yeah. Our mindset is different. We
yeah.
don't even we want to be a resource to people and to other things, but at the same time, we want resources. We want assets. We want to build our thing as the alpha. So anytime you ask for us to come in, and I think a little bit that's what you're saying, like whatever they was presenting to you is like the alpha a little bit over what you did. But we don't, for the most part, we don't even look at stuff like that anymore.
We partners.
We partners, yeah. We not falling into you. We next to you,
Right,
and we
right,
and we
right.
we phrase our advisory service just like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're right next to you.
And we really are though, because if you notice,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like pick up on things, but in our meeting, like she was like, the director was saying, we need, can you recommend a bank account for a
Right.
nonprofit? And
Mm.
I was like, I told our operations manager, can you make a note of looking for a nonprofit bank account for I said like for our new money, whatever it is, our new grants coming in, whatever I said. But
Yeah.
I noticed this when I'm on the phone with clients, I say, oh, we need to look at this debt.
Right.
We
Right.
need
Right.
to, change that. Like you're paying $1,400 a month in interest payments to keep this debt. We need to
Mm.
look at that, and we need to change this line of credit. Like,
Right.
you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. But
I,
that's the advisory
yeah,
part right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Hey, but you know what though? Real quick though, since I'm gonna be real about something right now. You know what? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's fell victim to this. But when you have the right relationship and engagement, and you look at things the right way, you will care a little bit less on what people think about you right away, and you'll focus more on giving optimum service and giving them the right answer. So my point is there was a point in our business that I would say, if somebody asks us that question, like just like you said example, what's the right bank account for a nonprofit? That's the example, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're a little bit less experienced, you might feel a way because you might not have the answer right away, or you have a answer. You don't know if it's the best answer,
Right.
but the real answer is I need to look into.
Exactly. And I have no problem saying
But
that
that ain't.
now.
But guess what? Look, I'm getting somewhere. When you used to say that, it used to bother me. I used to try for it to not bother me.
Oh
But I
yeah.
used to think like when you used to be like, oh, I'll look into it. I used to be sitting there thinking like, well, how does that look? That looks like we may not know something. Like I used to start really thinking like that for a long time. I know a lot of times we want to portray ourselves as like we know everything or we're ready with all the answers. But people don't always need you to know every single answer right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, take the time to make sure it's the optimum answer. Do the research. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have this relationship, for you to bring it up early enough and for me to take what I'm thinking is the answer and even look even further to get the most up to date information. You know what I mean? Consider the impacts, if it's taxes, whatever. But like, it's okay to say, let's put this on the list, let's work on it and get back. I'm getting better at that, but I used to be like, wow, we should have knew that, we should have knew that, we should have knew that. But that's you. That's your own insecurity. That's your own worrying about perception and what people think. But the important thing is get to the right answer. As I've gone up in my career, I've learned that even more in my individual career of you have to make sure it's right. Like, don't fall into the gaps of like how it looks and how it feels and how you feel and how your insecurity. Put all of that aside. What's your responsibility? High quality service, do it right. You see what I'm saying? You are putting carpet down in a house. It has to be done well. Do it right. No matter what's going on up until they say, well, what shade goes with this or what texture should I use? Okay, whatever. But by the time you put it on the floor, it has to be right. It has to look right. It has to feel right. You know what I'm saying? So like I've learned that it's more important to do your due diligence and make sure things are right. That's what you hang your hat on, it being correct and giving the right advice and giving technically correct information. You know what I'm saying? And all the other stuff, you deal with that individually. Because it is tough sometimes. You're like, maybe I should have knew that, or maybe I shouldn't have made, especially when mistakes pop up.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when mistakes pop up. You know what I mean?
Look. Since we keeping it real.
Oh, go right ahead.
Since we keeping it real on the podcast, guys, Randi made a mistake. About 2 years ago. And I will say this. I haven't made any mistakes that have been caught outside of me or my team. This one a state agency caught on a tax return. And the thing is though that kills me, it's not that it was a huge mistake, but it was the dollar amount associated with the mistake. And so we do have, like, when it comes to taxes, we have like a certain type of clientele, and I'll say that most of our clients are married couples filing jointly. Most of them are homeowners, and most of them have like a small business or rental property. Because a lot of married couples, they had like a house, townhouse or something before they got married, or they have a business on the side or something like that, and they have kids. But that's our. I don't even want to say it's our target. Is it? I don't know if it's our target market, but that's what we tend to attract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, I made a mistake on the state return, and it was a huge dollar amount associated with it. And the beautiful thing is that we have insurance. It's called errors and omissions. And it's the first time I had to call the insurance company to reimburse the client for the expense, for the penalty, that he received due to my error. So, and it hurt. Oh gosh, it hurt so bad because I really like this client.
Yeah.
And he's been with us for a while. And it was just nothing I can, it was just nothing I can do except for apologize. You can't even correct it because the State Department already corrected it. So yeah, so I made a mistake, and guys, we're human. It happens. I've forgiven myself.
Have you?
I have. And I'm just happy that I took the time to, like, this ain't no janky business. Like, I have insurance for that.
Yeah.
To cover that. Because we didn't always have insurance.
Didn't.
When we first started this business, I didn't even know that we needed insurance. So thank God I didn't make
you're
it.
Being real today.
But that's the thing though. You start a business
real
like
today.
Don't wait for the business to be perfect.
Yeah.
Go with what you have. You have a laptop and some software, go ahead and start.
That's what we did.
That's what we
literally did. One computer.
Yeah.
And us working on the same computer, creating everything live when we needed it.
But I would say when we make money, we always reinvested. Like, we didn't start paying ourselves right away. Like, we reinvested. And at some point, you start taking classes, business stuff, different courses, Facebook groups. And you're like, oh, I need this type of insurance. Because unless I had somebody walk beside me and hold my hand and tell me what I need, like, I don't know anybody who does taxes, So anyway, that happened. It hurt. I don't know if he's coming back, but we had the insurance. Yeah. I didn't even know like how it worked. I'm like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake.
But the important thing is you had it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think people need to know, like, in business, you will make mistakes. you can have all the process workflows, like you need that stuff, but
you're gonna make mistakes.
You're gonna make mistakes.
It's gonna happen.
You're gonna lose clients. Yeah, you gotta be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the insurance was for. So I'm so happy we had it.
Yeah.
And because I was like, the penalty is what? He makes a lot of money.
Right. Hey, and think about it.
A lot of money.
Within our business, the kind of business we have, the decisions we make impact money. You see what I'm saying? Like, we are your accountants, we're your financial advisors. Like, we're not the people that want to make mistakes. Nobody really wants to make mistakes, but think about our business. We don't want to make mistakes. We don't want to make mistakes with your money. We don't want to make mistakes with your accounting. But what happens when that mistake happens? And how do you handle it? And what does it do to you as a person? Like, I know when this came up, me and you went a little bit back and forth because, first off, I couldn't even fight the personal side because I just felt bad. That same thing popped up like, dang, how does this look? This don't look good. And when you're thinking about how it looks, you can start going outside of your process trying to fix it. So I'm sitting there like, well, shoot, should we pay for it? Like, should we do a little more to let him know how much we value him and this, and that? But then what ends up happening there is every individual situation has you going to one level versus the next. And then we will be falling back into the old version of us. We can't do that. We have changed. We're firm. We have grown. We have, thanks to you, put in these things like insurance, like you have to operate the same way. You got to have a process. So just like when we was talking about with the workflow, one thing that needed to be in that workflow is about exceptions. Like, when does something go wrong? Like, and this is way after we did the service already. How do we handle it? Right? We had problems in the past, which is like, yo, I'm doing really, really great accounting work for you for months. You all of a sudden have a personal situation in your life, and now all of a sudden you can't pay. Well, what happens to us? We would just eat that. We didn't get paid. We don't have a way to enforce it, and you know what I'm saying, and make sure we're gonna get something from somebody. Like, we were always operating under the good faith that things are gonna be fine, but stuff happens with us, with other people. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be prepared for what happens when things go wrong. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. You know what I mean? Thank you for putting that in for us. And you know what, yo, thank you, Miranda. You know what I'm saying? Because Randy's sitting here, and you guys could go online right now and look up tax, and you're gonna see the 5 tips to do this and all this type of great stuff. But how many people's out there letting you know, like, yo, I messed up on this return. Like, I actually made a mistake. It's something that, whether it was big, minor, this is what happened, this is how I handled it. Like, this is the type of advice you want, like the ups and the downs, the realness of it. Like, you start a business, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, come to the person that is a EA at taxes, that knows all this information, that has the latest rules, etc. But at the same time, she's also a real person. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna sit there and learn and get better from her mistakes, our mistakes, and actually share it with you also. That's the type of person you want to trust with your money. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like you. That shows how much you care about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, we can have another podcast episode and give you all the highlights. Because we did so much good stuff with taxes. You know what I'm saying? But how impactful is that? It's impactful. But so is what you just said. You know what I'm saying? Because these things happen. And we need to talk about that, help each other out. You know what I'm saying? When these stuff happens. So thank you for having us ready for that. I don't know if we'll keep declining or not. But guess what? Here's the beautiful thing though, as soon as we come out of that situation, we have proven that we better, even after the mistake. So in the long term of our business, we won, even though we might lose one. You see what I'm saying?
I'll never make that mistake again.
That's what I'm saying. So like, you know what I mean? So we better know even after that.
Yeah.
We better. We know what could happen, you know? And the other thing is, why this is such an important lesson is that when you grow your firm, you also open up the door for more mistakes that are outside of your immediate control. So now you have to think more organizationally, not just, oh, what happens if I make a mistake and so calls me and what do I do? No, what happens if your accountant makes a mistake? What happens if your administrative person makes the mistake? What happens if one of your 30 employees make the mistakes? Your mindset has to start changing when you run an organization. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not doing everything individually. So your processes and workflow have to continue to get better, and they have to be able to work across a larger population of outcomes. That's where it gets tough too. That's why you need a kind of base in accounting. It sounds like a really complicated. It actually is more complicated than you would think. Because if you're a small business or whatever the case may be, and you got a business model where everything pretty much happens because you are directly involved, well, it's a little bit less for you to think about because the mistakes are attributed primarily to you and what you do or don't do. But let you try to grow it. Growing your business sounds all nice and sweet, but you open up the risk triggers to way more people than just you. That's the other side of it. Like, don't just take the advice from people of like, oh, let me go get another line of business over here. Let me go get more clients. Blah blah blah. Let me go advertise. Cool, but all you're doing is creating a population of outcomes, and they ain't always gonna be positive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. Yep.
so you do 10 people's here, cool. Or as soon as you open that second shop and now you're doing 50, more money in the bank, but more risk in your environment. You got to think of both. Most people just focus on, oh, I'm going to get more money in the bank. But nah, bro. Like, you got to think. I say think first. What am I exposing my business to now? Because I'm doing this at a larger scale, and that's when you really need to make sure you got the right advisors in place, people that you trust, people that know what they're doing, also do your accounting, your taxes. Like, that's why I love how we do our business too, because you need everything you do with your money could impact your taxes. Everything you do in the past can impact your future. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody doing it all, to be honest with you, that could really do it all. Separating it is not really the way. And so I like what we're doing. So anyway, that was interesting. You know what I'm saying?
That was the down part
That
of the
was the
week.
Dom, but it's all good. But and the other Dom part that I'll say, and I know we're probably coming up on this, I might have to talk about this more in another podcast. But the other Dom part this week is actually, it was a down, but it was also a up. I'm gonna close out with this. You know what I'm saying? My guy, my granddaddy, you know what I'm saying? We talk a lot. I heard from him recently, and he wasn't feeling too good, and he wanted to come up to the States to get checked into the emergency room and stuff like that. And that's had me in a space of concern, because that's my boy right there. And he has been everything to me in my life. And a simple way to say it is, for any of y'all out there that could, close your eyes and think about all your favorite memories, all the things that make you smile, all the things that if you're telling your kids or your friends about something in your past, these are the stories that you go to. You know what I'm saying? My grandpa's in all of them, for the most part. He was always there, taking the pictures, celebrating me, calling me the prince. He was always there. So he means a lot to me. So he comes out here, and we go through the experience of him being in the emergency room and a whole bunch of tests and all that. You worry, and this and that. But it gave us a chance to talk. It gave us a chance to really sit there and talk with each other. And sometimes the trials that you go through allow that communication to happen and that connection to happen, even if it's in a tough moment. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying from this is that even in these conversations we was having when he weren't doing so well, when we were in the hospital, it reminded me of how much he is proud of what I've become and how much he admires what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I was sitting there and I'm like, I've spent my life admiring you, but now I recognize that you really, really been admiring me too. And the things I'm doing, he admires the wife that I chose. He admires what I'm doing with my business. He admires how I'm taking care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? He admires that I'm sitting there thinking about what happens with his legacy after he's gone. You know what I'm saying? And just sitting there and hearing from him, it meant a whole lot to me, because I'm like, well, you think high of what I've did. I'm did all right. I could make you proud. I've made you proud. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize, like, well, I got to keep this going. for me, but I got to keep this going for you because this is the things you taught me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, why do you get exposed to certain things? You know what I'm saying? We're sitting there and me and you, I'm connected, but me and you have had some disconnection sometimes, you know what I mean? I've hurt you in certain ways and you know what I mean? You try to not think about certain things and sometimes you feel like I don't love you the way I need to, or I'm not attentive enough for spending time with you. And I'm like, well, I'm sitting there and he's showing me videos of my granny, you know, when she had cancer and stuff that was tough to look at. And one video was like 5 weeks before she died. And she's sitting there clapping her hands and trying to raise her arms up and all this type of stuff. And I'm sitting there with tears in my eyes, but yet I'm sitting there looking at him and he's like, your granny was super. And I was like, yo, it made me think about you. Because why have I got this experience of seeing my grandpa and my granny together? It's because I had to see what it's like for a guy to really love a woman. So it made me want to come home and love you better. It really did, serious. It really did. Because I'm like, oh, I've seen it. I know what it's supposed to look like. And maybe even though he's sitting there loving his wife, he's showing his kids and his grandkids how you're supposed to love a woman for real. And I'm supposed to take that. I'm supposed to take that with me. He's sitting there looking at these videos and stuff every day. And it made me start thinking like, how would I look at you if you wasn't here no more? How would I look at our legacy and everything we did together and all the memories we have? You know what I'm saying? And they mean everything to me. So why would I play with them? No, because they would mean everything to me later if I couldn't have them anymore. You see what I'm saying? So I was like we don't think like that in everyday life. We we have our blessings, we risk them, we make bad decisions, we assume they always gonna be there, but one day they may not be there. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, nah, I'm here for a reason, and God is masterminding everything. So He has me here talking to my grandpa because as much as he needs me right now, God has put me here. I need some stuff from him. And I just kind of picked up on it. So we just was talking. And I was like, I need this. I need to see somebody that's going through something physically that's still admiring their wife and sharing pictures and loving them and talking about how to help other people. I need this. Because I'm been sitting here with my back hurting and I don't know how to think about nothing else. So I need to go sit here and watch him. I need this. You know what I'm saying? I need to see what it's like to really, really love somebody, man. The way he loved my granny. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's his girl. I respect that. You know, I admire him so much, no matter what. And I don't care that he ain't perfect or not, but I just admire what he gave to everybody with his life. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us, we are afraid to give so much, you know, because it's tough, especially, you know, watching people take. Then you get older and it's like you're alone and it's tough, but it's like how many people has impacted with the decisions he made. It's like I want to be like that. I want to be impactful. You know what I'm saying? I want my kids, my grandkids, and everything to see how impactful my life was. You know what I'm saying? Like I want my life to have impact because when I'm talking to him, I can feel how impactful he has been to me and everything that I think, the way that I move. You know what I'm saying? The way that I think about myself. It sounds crazy, but like I can hear him in my head talking, calling me Prince Basden. Little things like that. There's some guys out there that's never known what it's like for a man to tell them, "You're a king, you're a prince, you're amazing." You know what I'm saying? You have a legacy to uphold and take for. Like I've heard things that some guys never heard done. You see what I'm saying? So it's impactful. And I thank him for that. And I can't wait till he gets back 100%. But he reminded me of how blessed I am to have my wife, you know what I mean, that's been here with me, and what it's like to really have a friendship and you don't let nobody mess with that, you know? So thank you, granddaddy, you know what I'm saying? For everything, for continuing to bless me and teach me, even when you probably don't even realize that you're doing that. You're my guy. We gonna get you back healthy. You know what I mean? But thank you for everything that you have ever done for me and the family. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna dedicate this podcast episode to my grandpa, Robert Peets, man. I call him the GOAT. So I'm gonna dedicate this one to him for sure, because I'm in here a lot because of him and his wife, my granny upstairs, and how special they made me feel and how important they made me feel about life. And you're here because of your mama and your grandparents and people that made you feel important and highlighted that your voice is important. So we got to give love to the people that instill things in us to help us be great. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, Granddaddy, this one's for you, bro. I love you. Randy, I love you. Thank you for
And I love you back.
everything. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow the Dax and Randy show on all platforms that have podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You go get us on YouTube. You can follow us on TikTok. You know what I mean? Make sure you, if you're enjoying our podcast, share it with somebody, man. You know what I mean? We want to create this community where we're sharing with each other. It's helping us get through life. You know what I mean? The good times and the bad times. We got a lot of advice for y'all. And we really want to help you navigate through this life thing because it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Till next time. Peace. Make sure you follow the Dax and Randy show on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube. Let us know what you're going through. This is the #1 show for going through the ups and downs of life. We want to hear from you, engage with you. Till next time, peace.